Welcome to the Get Published podcast, sponsored by Brodie Consulting Group. To get more information about our coaching, publishing, executive ghostwriting, and podcast production services, go to getpublishedpodcast.com. Hello, I am Paul Brodie, and thank you for joining us for another episode of the Get Published podcast, where we help authors get published with a proven system that works. Today, we're being joined by Eric Z., author of Power to Publish. Eric, welcome to the show.
Hi, Paul. It's great to be here.
Great to hear you, my friend. Are you ready to get started with our questions?
I am so ready, Paul.
All right, my friend. Question number 1. What is the one piece of advice that you would give to a first-time author who is currently writing their book?
Exactly. I tell my students all the time, write something short and make it free, preferably permanently free, because there's nothing like a free book sitting on Amazon just garnering your views and readers. It's like free advertising. And then I tell them, don't reinvent the wheel. Use a template. So if you're doing nonfiction, I actually have a template for how-to books. And if you're doing fiction, then again, don't reinvent the wheel. Use something like The Hero's Journey, which is probably too big for a short story. But you could also go to your favorite authors and reverse engineer their books, analyze what they did and then reverse engineer them. So publish something short and free to get them into your series, and don't reinvent the wheel. Research your genre and look at what beats they need. You want to deliver those beats to your reader and use a template.
Well, you bring up a great point, too, because anytime that you're starting a series, it's always a good idea to have that first book set for Permafree. So I've got a few different series, a book publishing series, a motivational series, and also a health and wellness one. And for each of those first 3 books, the Kindle version was set for free. And a couple of nice benefits with that, having this Permafree, was 1, you didn't have to spend money on Amazon advertising. 2, it would drive traffic. And 3, it would also give attention to the paperback version of your book, and you would still generate some sales doing it that way, because some people just love to have a paper version in their hands.
I just wanted to say that. I run ads, Amazon ads, to my free books, and the print books sell. So, and then, of course, Paul, you got to have your back end ready and your website and your funnels. So even if they don't get the print book, they get my free books, and then maybe I will sell them something else through the nonfiction book on my website,
Absolutely. It's one of the best ways to build up your list.
I love it. Yeah, it's my main method. It's like my signature course, my flagship course is called the 7-Day Challenge, and that's what I teach. I teach the whole gamut from making it permanently free, installing subscriber forms, formatting, publishing, the whole thing.
Well, what do you feel is the hardest part about getting published?
Yeah, definitely keeping it all together. There's so much to manage. So I'm assuming self-publishing, right? There's self-publishing,
hybrid, traditional. They're all different beasts, so they all have different facets. So feel free to talk about any of those journeys.
Well, the thing is, even if your dream is to be traditionally published, the publishers today expect that you have your own audience. Andy Weir, E.L. James, they built up their audience first. They were number 1 in Amazon for years before they got the movie deals. So publishers today, they expect you to do the marketing. So yeah, that's the biggest part. Traditionally published or self-published, you got to manage everything. You're the marketer, you're the promoter, you got formatting, editing, beta readers, you got to keep it all together. So you should get help, but exactly, you got to manage everything now.
Yeah, I always say that it's not necessarily difficult, but it's just so many tedious little things that if you miss one thing, it can totally wreck your book.
Yeah, and that's another reason why I say I'm a super strong believer in getting your feet wet. So many people, they want to write this magnum opus for their first book. Say, hey, just take it easy, man. Make a short book. Make it free. It takes off the pressure, and you get used to writing, and then you can test your ideas And because the fastest way to get to the top or become full-time author is to get a successful series, and that all starts with that first book. So yeah, your first book, preferably free book, has to be really good. But if it's your very first book, you got to practice too. So don't sweat it. Just get in it.
Yeah, done is better than perfect, and don't be afraid to take the plunge.
Definitively.
Well, let's talk about marketing. So please share a marketing strategy that you have used in your book launches that has worked well.
I definitely got one for. I got more for you, but the best one, if I could only choose one, is to ask yourself a question. And the question is, who has my list? And that could be an influencer with 100,000 people on his subscriber list, or it could be something like a promotion site like Buck Books, which is list centric. They have an email list. Or the other one, the biggest one that everybody knows is BookBub with their million readers, but it's a list. And then you pay to be on that list. So who has my list? Everybody has a different list. Science fiction, whatever genre you're in, and you might know somebody, you might partner with other authors that already have a big list. But if you can't do any of that and you're brand new, then you go for the promotion sites. And Buck Books is not as hard to get as BookBub. And Buck Books can pretty much catapult you to the top of almost any category in Amazon. And if you're into fiction, so Buck Books is primarily for nonfiction, but if you're into fiction, Kindle Book Review is also super good because when you do some of their promotions, you get the email list afterwards. So there you go. I did one promotion with them and then sold some books, and then I got 2,000 emails that I could put on my list. And then, there's all sorts of requirements. You can't spam them, of course not. But, that you have to handle them with care, of course. But the point is, who has my list? Start with that focusing question and then go for it.
Well, and you bring up a great point with that too, because one of the things that our company utilizes a lot is those different promo companies. So you mentioned Buck Books. We also utilize eReader News Today. We utilize FreeBooksy and many others. And the reason I bring that up is because a lot of the authors that we work with, most of the time, it is their first book. So they haven't necessarily built a huge platform. And one of the easiest ways to do that is to get your book out, to invest in some proper marketing, to utilize companies like Buck Books, eReader News Today, and FreeBooksy, because you can start to build that as long as you've got an offer, a clear offer in your book. Whether it's a strategy session, whether it's giving away a guide, maybe another book or a preview chapter, but utilizing something there so you can actually get that email address. But when you're starting out, everyone starts at zero. You got to be able to build it up. And by utilizing some of those promo companies, it's one of the best ways to kickstart your book.
Yeah, I think they're the most effective. And can I mention another one, an honorable mention?
Sure.
Yeah, so another way is these book companies or platforms that offer your book for free in exchange for an email. So there's three of them. One of them is called Noise Trade. Another one is Voracious Readers. And the other one is, they used to be called InstaFreebie, and now they're called Prolific Authors or Creators. And all of these guys, you can put your book on there for free in exchange for an email. So I don't have any awesome results from these guys yet. I haven't tried them yet, but I have interviewed them on my blog from Voracious Readers. And Voracious Readers will actually help you A/B test your covers too. So if you're really shy, you can start with these guys first before you take the plunge and spend the $30 on a Buck Books promo,
Well, InstaFreebie, when they were known as that, they started out, if I remember correctly, about 3 years ago. And I was actually one of the first adopters of what they offered. And they actually ended up putting a couple of my books. I think it was Eat Less and Move More, Motivation 101. I think we also put in book publishing for beginners. And they would actually put it in their promo emails because they didn't have a lot of authors at the time or a lot of books. So we're like, hey, we'd like to be part of this. How do we set up a promo? We're like, we'll just take care of it. Just send us a book image and a description. And we did that. And I think we built up around 1,200 of them.
Nice.
Well, there was a good part of it, and there was an area of opportunity. So the good part was, yes, we did add subscribers, The
Hmm.
challenge is for a company specifically that's in that demographic, they were mainly freebie seekers. So due to
Hmm.
that,
Yep.
probably about 300 of them unsubscribed within a couple of weeks because they just
Yep.
wanted to get the free book. Because their deal is, yeah, you
There
can
you
get the
go.
free book, but you got to sign up. So some of them were quite educated with that process. Now we did end up
Mhm.
turning a couple of those people into clients. So it's just one of
Yeah.
those things where it is hit and miss, but you just have to realize that there are a ton of freebie seekers on there, but
Hmm.
it's a lot more than what you'd see on Amazon. When you book Set to Perma Free, when people download it, they don't necessarily think that. They're just like, oh, cool, this is on promo for a limited time. So they're a little
Hmm.
more inclined to stay on your list, to
Hmm.
respond to your emails, to potentially do strategy sessions, and to prospectively become clients. So I've
Yeah.
seen Permafree work out great with the Amazon
Mhm.
platform, and I've seen
Yep.
it hit or miss with some of these companies like Insta Freebie. So it's just one of those things where you kind of have to realize what you're getting yourself into, but it can be
Mhm.
beneficial.
Yeah, that's why I say just go straight for Amazon
Yeah.
and hit some promo sites. Get your feet wet. Get in there, man, you know.
Well, and the author promotions are good too. We did one
Yeah.
a couple of weeks ago where it was like 15 different books, and
Hmm.
we had to get published book on there, and I think we added around 800 or 900 subscribers, and a couple of those have ended up turning into prospective clients.
So
So
what
it
kind
was
of promotion was that? Sorry.
so that was one of those promotions where we teamed up with 14 other authors,
Ah,
and
yeah.
we all emailed our list going, hey, for a couple of days these books are all available for free. You can grab a copy by going to this link. It was set up on a lead page, and people could just download whichever book they wanted, or more than one, and then they'd be added to your list. So we probably had
Hmm.
about 100 unsubscribes, which is not a big deal because we send emails out weekly. But the
Hmm.
nice thing is we've kept most of those. So when you are doing those type of multi-author promotions, they can work out pretty well. Just depends on who you
Yeah.
get working with you and just making sure
Hmm.
everyone's emailing their list. I think the expectation was two
Hmm.
emails that would be sent out, which my guys love free books. So I would just put an email
Yeah.
out, free book alert for 15 books for free, and boom, send them out.
But that is, yeah, list building on steroids. You were leveraging other people's lists. That's
Yeah,
the name of the game. Yeah, awesome, excellent.
exactly.
I
So yeah,
I
there's many
want to talk
ways.
to you. Sorry, what?
No, I was just gonna say, Eric, there's many ways, as you mentioned.
Yeah, I want to talk to you about that later, my friend, because that's my next venture also.
Yeah, they can be very beneficial, which is nice. Well, speaking of books, I'd like to know what is your favorite book and what was the number one thing that you learned from it?
It is so hard because there are so many awesome books, but I'll have to default to my default book, which is Think and Grow Rich from Napoleon Hill, because it's not just about mindset. I also learned you have to have written goals and a master plan and visualize your goals and practice persistence. And then you ask yourself again, focusing question, what is the system that will get me to my goals? And there's some cool statistics out there, like people that have goals, are 20% likely to achieve them. People with written goals are like 50% likely to reach them. But people with written goals with an accountability partner and a given date are like 80% likely to reach their goal. And so when you do this Think and Grow Rich book, I mean, that's a bad title. It's about how to be successful and reach your goals. That's what it should be titled. But you have to make a master plan. And the cool thing about this is that I did this, and whenever I'm in doubt, I go back to my master plan from like 5 years ago, and it works. It's just always worked. It's just it works really well. And another thing I tell people is when they get this book, they should probably read it backwards. They should read the chapter about fear. I think it's chapter 13 about fear. Read that one first and get over your fears, and then do the rest of the book. And so, yeah, that's my favorite book.
And for our final question, what is your favorite quote and why?
So I have to be arrogant here. My favorite new quote is, if you can read, you can succeed. And that's my own quote. And because it's true. All my life, I've had a affair with nonfiction how-to books. And I've learned more from books than anything else. And it just plain works. And so if you can read, you can succeed.
Excellent. Well, Eric, I want to thank you for being a guest on the show. What is the best way for people to find you online?
Super easy. Just go to zbooks.co, not com, co, and go to my website and got a free book for you there, Power to Publish. And if you're on mobile, you might have to scroll down a lot and use the menu and hit that link, My Free Book. So zbooks.co, and I'd be glad to see you there.
And I believe you also have a podcast as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Definitively, it's all over that blog, all over my website. I don't know the link offhand, but it's on that website. Every post is a podcast now. So.
Excellent. And then what is the name of your podcast, Eric?
Z-Books Successful Authors Podcast.
Excellent. Well, Eric, thank you once again for being on the show, and I wish you all the best in your author journey.
Thanks, Paul. Same to you, and I look forward to coming back and chatting with you.
Thanks again for joining us today. To learn more about how you can be featured in our brand new Get Published business book, go to getpublishedpodcast.com.